Welcome back. So, we are ready to share the rest of our incredible night with you. I am now honored to introduce our former CEO, Ann Kalass. As you likely know, Ann started her retirement in January after nearly 15 years with Starfish Family Services. We have just about put our tissues away. Under Ann's watch, Starfish quadrupled in revenue to a nearly $48 million budget. Yes. Her tenure also included moving from just over 100 employees to nearly 450 team members. Ann guided Starfish to innovate new programming, expand further into Detroit and Western Wayne County, and ignite countless collaborative projects and partnerships. Most notably, Ann guided Starfish to be a part of the new vision for the former Marygrove College campus, opening an awe-inspiring and state-of-the-art new early education center fueled by Starfish. Designed for children and with the voices of families at every decision, the center is the beginning of a larger cradle-to-career pathway that welcomes the entire family and defines best practices in early learning and family wellness. The accolades could go on. However, what was most powerful about Ann's tenure was her passionate advocacy for children, youth, and families. We remain grateful for her years of service. Please join me in welcoming home Ann Kalass.
Thank you all so very much, and good evening to everybody. I'm really happy to be here, and there's so many people that I want to get a chance to give a hug to tonight. So tonight, as you've heard, we celebrate the enduring impact of Starfish, and we extend our deepest gratitude to thousands of people and organizations who together we've woven a beautiful Starfish tapestry in the last 6 decades. Our loving community includes children, parents, employees, volunteers, partners, and supporters of all shapes and sizes, and of course, all of you. My decade-and-a-half journey with Starfish has been an incredible joy and privilege. Starfish has a way of magically grabbing a hold of our hearts and filling some space that's unique to each of us. My early goals were to sustain and build upon our beloved WIDA's legacy of service. We all felt a deep sense of responsibility to preserve our strong Starfish culture and our unique way of working with families as partners, always walking beside them and treating all of our stakeholders with dignity, respect, and warmth. Starfish's work begins with the knowledge that every family has unique strengths and that all children have the potential to grow, learn, and thrive. And they can do that when they draw on their family's strengths and work with organizations like Starfish to break down barriers that stand in their way. As the years passed, our resolve to help address the disparate opportunities for families grew stronger, and we landed on a bold vision of social justice and equitable opportunities and outcomes for children and families. We strengthened the impact, as you've heard, of our early childhood programs by focusing on our classrooms and family engagement, and at the same time, we continued to grow our strong behavioral health program that supports children and youth. We innovatively brought our children's mental health and trauma expertise right into our early childhood classrooms, and equally importantly, into local schools and healthcare settings to meet needs and break down barriers. I'm proud that we grew our reach and impact by focusing on quality, innovation, and collaboration. Today, I'd like to think that Starfish is a key contributor to the reimagining and the rebuilding of the early childhood system in Detroit, and we've got responsibility now for 1,000 of our youngest learners in welcoming classrooms across Detroit every day. This is in addition to hundreds of infants, toddlers, preschoolers in Western Wayne, and over 1,000 children who benefit from our behavioral health services. And as Carla just mentioned, we're really proud to lead the early education work on the campus of Marygrove with Detroit Public Schools, Community District, the University of Michigan, among others, and under the stewardship of the Kresge Foundation. And what this project has always gotten me excited about is that it's the first time that I've seen an economic redevelopment program put children and families and education at the center and the heart of the plan. So just to acknowledge that the last 3 years have been hard on every single one of us in this room. And I couldn't be prouder of our Starfish community for its resilience and strength during the pandemic. The Starfish team pulled together with courage and creativity to meet new needs while children learned and developed from home for months at a time. Overnight, we deployed technology that allowed us to deliver therapy and counseling virtually, and we expanded our basic needs program for families who are isolated at home. Our Starfish community grew closer through the shared experience of a global pandemic and the shared purpose and urgency of taking care of each other and those we serve who were disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. So fast forward to today. My overriding emotion, if you've heard me talk about it in recent months, has been gratitude. Gratitude for the opportunity to be part of the Starfish family. Gratitude for the profound difference that together we've made for children and families. And gratitude for the amazing community that we've built as represented by all of you and your presence here tonight. And with time to reflect in recent months that I've been retired, I want to talk about just one other aspect that I think really differentiates Starfish, and that's the idea of generosity. We can think about our funders and donors, like many of you, who are incredibly generous to Starfish. And we couldn't do our work, as Mark said earlier, without philanthropic support. But generosity to me means something much, much more. I think of our Starfish Essentials team, a group of 25 employees at the start of the pandemic. These heroes from across the organization showed up to prepare and pack food for families and to deliver food and diapers on doorsteps across our county, all at a time when we didn't know a thing about COVID. They volunteered to do this when other employees were safely working at home. On a personal note, Starfish employees were incredibly generous to me during the pandemic. I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen next from moment to moment. The Starfish team of 450 employees let me show my vulnerability as a leader, and so often reached out to me to say they saw me and they appreciated me while they were suffering themselves. I think of board members over 6 decades who so generously give their time and wisdom to Starfish, and always with a smile and encouragement. I've seen hundreds of Starfish parents generously support each other through crisis and tragedy. Our Starfish parents, and I'm looking at Christy, who you're going to meet soon, they have each other's backs. And finally, I think of our donors and foundation partners who just checked in on us during the pandemic with a phone call to ask how we were doing or what we needed in that moment. It seems to me that our world thrives when we're generous with each other. And to me, an ultimate display of generosity is when we pull together around a shared belief in the inherent goodness and potential of our fellow humans. And then we mobilize to lift each other up. The world is a happier and more inclusive place when we show up with grace and generosity to our friends, family, and even more so, complete strangers. Starfish is a generous place and community. I end with a moment that I've shared with many people, so if you've heard it before, please indulge me, but there's a moment at Starfish that's forever etched in my heart, and it was at the beginning of my tenure, and I wanted to get to know more about the families that we serve and our programs, and it was a cold winter night, I remember that, in Inkster, and a mother introduced herself, and she talked about driving more than 30 minutes every Thursday night to come from the east side of Detroit to Inkster for our Family Success Program. And I asked her, what do you tell your friends and family when they ask you why you're going to Inkster on Thursday nights? And without missing a beat, she looked me in the eyes and she said, I tell them I'm going to Inkster to grow. And isn't that all what we want for ourselves and for those that we love? And that night, and I think it did carry me through 15 years, I learned a lot about our human connectedness. So I look forward to supporting Starfish in new ways and in whatever way I can help the fabulous Roxanne Brinkerhoff, who you'll meet shortly. And I just look forward to future decades, knowing that together we'll continue to play a vital role in one way or another, helping children, families, neighbors, and our employees grow. So thank you very, very, very much.